All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Okay, so I've got it set up here where I want it. I'm going to bring this thing back 2.5 inches back here. Okay, that'll push this back in here. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to notch the front of this here as well, because as this plate goes back, so does the axle. And I want to come up. I've still got, by doing that, I still have enough height here. If I cut this off right here at the where it bends, I still have enough height, because this axle is going to want to do this a little bit as you hit terrain, go into corners. So the axle will be lifting up, so I'll still give it clearance there to lift up. I'll probably leave just the little snout so it's not sharp there. I'll just leave a little bit of the roundness, cut the side plate off and cut it back to where I need to for the axle to sit. The nut will now be on the front instead of on the back, and the piece that was here and used to bolt up here, now as I lower the hood, I'll probably make a bracket to mount this down here, still between the tires, but a much cooler look. So that's what we're gonna do next. So I'm gonna set you up on a time lapse here. I'm gonna mark this, I'm gonna cut it, I'm gonna bring my welder over here, get it plugged up, and we're gonna start welding this thing. And this will be the first weld I've made on this tractor. Not far off from the first weld I've ever made, so be patient with me. I'm a learning. Okay, for those of you that pay attention, did you see where I screwed up? I didn't actually mean to cut there. I'd made a marker cross so I could trace it down the sides, but I didn't mean to cut there. So before that piece comes completely off, I'll re-weld that. I've got the inner structure still. The outer structure is off. That's where the axle will tuck back to. I do have to cut the inner structure as well, but before I cut that off, I'll go ahead and re-weld this here to join that back together and fix that, because I did want to leave the two snouts out here. I probably need to cut this one a little further back as well, just to even that up, but I want to get the inner structure out and then test fit it real quick before I do that. All right, that took way longer than it should have. I had my welder set up for aluminum, so I had changed the gas, I changed the head, the wire, all that good stuff. But let's clean up the joint here where we're about to weld, and let's do some more beginner welding. Safety first. Tension a little high, speed a little slow. Let's try that again. Okay, well, this side over here definitely looks better than that side over there. But either way, I'm gonna grind those welds and make them look pretty good. After we've ground them up, we'll go ahead and do the finish cutting. Then we can actually go ahead and put this axle in, which is what I've been waiting for. I've been using these discs here. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I'm sort of zoomed in here. I've been using these resin wheels here. The flapper disc is what I have been using. And I tell you what, they just wear out so stinking fast. I don't know if it's just the quality of them or what, but all the little segmented pieces, they wear out so fast. These here last a lot longer, in my opinion. So you just go ahead and grind those down, make them look nice. All right, I like the way this is looking. I got it notched in. That's going to go back to there. Got the frame notched as well. Cleaned up the edges, so now I'm going to clean up the edges on this plate here. I got to open it up. You can see I'm burning up just a little bit on the side there. I got to open it up so that'll slide back in all the way. This will get welded backside here, around the corner to this. The downsides of this piece here will get welded onto there and down onto there, so it'll be welded the whole backside of it. And then I'm probably going to have to do like a little something on the front here. I'm not sure what I'll do yet, but this is going to be a little bit higher than this, so I'll probably put like a little piece of bar through there, or a flat bar or something, so I can tie in these front corners as well. So I'm going to clean it up a little bit more and get it in there and weld it up. I think where I welded that back on looks pretty decent. What do you think? Yeah, something is not right with my wire feed speed. Yeah, it's not gripping. I got the tension too high. Something I think can do with the tension, honestly. Yeah, I want to come back down on top of that. Alright, I'm going to fix that up real quick. Alright, so I set the engine back up in there. So I clean that up a little bit there. Got a little more cleanup to do in there, but I think right here I'll probably put a piece of 1/2-inch rebar in there so that can be supported all the way out to the tongue, to the tip of that, just make that a little bit stronger. But I just got that sitting on a jack stand for now, just to see. So I've got this back in, and if I look in here, I can see the top of the carburetor. And remember, I want the carburetor to come out of the hood. Where that sits right now, I'm liking the look of it. The Craftsman tractors were funny before. The front of the hood was taller than the back of the hood. It had a weird little rake to it that made it look kind of goofy. So I still have to lower the back end down. My front end's sitting at 3.5. I want the back of the frame. Back of the frame is still at 6. So I still have to go down 2.5 inches in the back, which is then going to effectively re-level my hood. But if I look here, I can come down 3 inches before I hit my carburetor. So the idea back here was I wanted to take the 3 inches out of here. So if I cut this up 3 inches, I think I can get this slide down on the side. I'm gonna have to re-drill for this. There's a notch here for that's a tensioner, but I can drill that into the side of that. They'll just make a clearance for it. But I'm gonna stop coming around this side here. The lighting's terrible. Sorry about that. But there you go. So I can clearance that thing down 3 inches. The whole hood will settle another 3 inches. Then I'm sitting on my carb, but I like that a lot. It's getting more of the stance to it that I really wanted to see. I'm going to, I think what I'm going to do now is just kind of seeing where that's coming to. I'm going to pull the hood, pull the motor, pull that, and then let's work on getting that rear end out of there and seeing what we can do to get the rear end lifted up. I want to, before I set my hood, I want to make sure the back end is sitting at the level it's going to be at so I don't get my angle off on my hood. But I kind of like that the hood's going to sit level now. If you look at the old Craftsman, I don't know if I have a picture I can put here, but if you look at the old Craftsman, the front of them was sat high, made it look a little goofy. I forget what I was originally from, but let's take a measurement now. I forget what I was from the ground to top of hood. I think it was 30 something. Well, we're at 26. We've come down, well, I know I've come down at least 8 inches, so it's probably closer to 36 inches it was. So now I've got my hood a little bit lower. I've got the chassis down 8 inches. So yeah, another 3 inches down on the hood. That'll get this here line down behind that tire from the side profile, which I really like. And then I've got that other piece that'll go on the front and fill in that gap so you don't see the engine, or the front of it kind of fills in this whole section down here. I think that's starting to look pretty mean. All right, so I think we've got the front end looking about where we want it. I want to get this back end out of here. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, I guess I wasn't filming there, but this whole thing just slid straight back for me. So I think what I want to do is this rod here needs to come out, and I'd like to see if I can get the handle off the shifter. And then, well, actually I think I just want to put the tires back on here. Yeah. Put tires back on here, get this lifted up to where it's supposed to be. This thing's practically going to be level with here. And then I'll check for get my chassis down to the right height, but this lever is going to definitely get in the way. So let's delete him real quick. If we decide to go back with a high-low setting, which is what I'm pretty sure that is, and it's like a 2-speed rear end. If we decide to go back with that, it actuates back here, so I would just reset it so the actuator would be behind the seat. It's not something you're probably going to reach back and grab hold of while you're driving, especially if you're attempting to do, upwards of 40 miles an hour. Probably don't want to drop it in low gear real quick. This is my guess. I just want to lift this up in the back, and then I want to lower this down in the front, and I want to see. I'm thinking there's the mounting plate that used to connect here. I'm thinking I can reconnect it back here. So this has got a definite connection to here besides just what I weld on here. Put you on there like that to hold that side up. And then put you up here. And that's lifting that up. So let's just go up there like that, back on the bricks. I like that better. It's safer. Definitely safer. Well, this would be a lot easier to do when it's not connected to a vehicle. Or the suspension, I guess, is connected to something besides just...
Oh no!
If you could have only seen the slow motion of that one. Yeah. So, gonna have to head to Walmart and get another tripod. But anyways, the wheel fell over and slow motion. Tripod went. Hope you enjoyed the ride. All I could think of was, that's my phone. But it landed on my bench. It's, you know, got more reasons to be here than just keeping your hiney comfy. So I'm gonna get this thing done real quick and then I'll turn the camera back on now that I don't have a tripod. All right, so we're back. We got a linkage in here. It's like a band that tightens up around this thing. That's your parking brake, which was actuated on the side here. You can set a parking brake, but also it was connected to the clutch. So every time you push in the clutch, it would like slow the transmission so you could shift a gear. I don't know, so I guess that was clutch and brake together. But I want to be able to clutch, shift gear, not slow down the process. So this won't be connected to the clutch pedal anymore, just to the handbrake. I'm gonna have to redo it. But it looks like the way this thing's gonna sit in here with the angle of it, this thing's gonna sit flat. That's actually gonna end up being my base where my battery and my gas tank sit. So let me go back around the other side here again. I've been playing, look at that. Look at that engine sitting down there. So I've been playing with I took the pedestal off the steering again. It can come up 3 inches. So I've marked my 3 inches on there. I'm about to cut that out with the grinder. And then I'm gonna set it back on here. It's actually, because the shaft's going down an angle, it's actually gonna pull the pedestal towards the front of the tractor, which means the hood will move forward probably about the same distance that I shifted the axle forward. So the axle, the front of the tractor, the alignment of the wheels look very similar to how it did from stock. This is where it currently sits. I'll be lowering that down 3 inches. I'll be lowering that down 3 inches. I'll be putting the hood back on top. And I love the way the stance is starting to come together. The wheel's obviously crooked. The parking brake is put in with a flathead screw. And I'm gonna have to go get an impact screwdriver because it will not let go. So there you go. Look how low that seat is. I put the running board back on just to set it in there for looks. And thing is sitting low. Want me to put the hood back on? Where's that? Scrap. You want me to put the hood back on? Let's do it. So put the fenders up there. They're not attached yet. Just want to kind of get a look at that. They'll tilt forward a little bit and protect my arms from the wheels, and they need to be spread out, especially because I'm going to add some 2-inch spacers on each side of the back. I'm also going to be spacing the front wheels, spacing them out. Main reason for that is when you get hard into a turn, this wheel here will come in and hit the flywheel. So I'm going to cut these and get them away from the body of the tractor a little bit. Really happy with the way that she's sitting down here. Needs to drop another inch in the front. This needs to be angled different so I can close that gap. The original bracket's in the way right now. Next, we'll be making the hole for the carburetor to pop through here in the top. Already looking at some upgraded carburetors for that. There you go, though. That's how she's gonna sit. Do a pulley swap, do a smaller pulley there, and do a larger pulley up front here. We'll have to resize the belt and that sort of thing. But that's about the stance she's gonna have. That's how it's gonna sit. So tune in to the next video, and we will get this thing rolling down the road as soon as possible. So gotta add a little bit more support in the back, just as far as connecting down here to up there where the original brackets, where they originally connected together. So what we've got now is we just did some brackets, some quick brackets that bolt to the transmission, so it's still removable. Nothing's fastened hard if we need to remove it to service it, but it does hold it in the stance that it needs to be at, so we can. I'm pretty happy with how we got a consistent level line underneath there, so we're looking good. Keep watching. More video coming soon.